How's it going, people? Welcome back to the aftermath. This is actually going to be the final episode of this mini-series, and I'm going to wrap up by going through exactly what my goals are moving forward. What are we going to be working on, and the specifics around that as well, in terms of how we're actually going to be going towards that. So as an overview, almost backtracking a little bit, going through this prep has made me very clear in terms of the direction that I want to take my physique moving forward. I have fallen in love with the whole process of physique development again. Obviously, this whole industry and training in general has always been one of the things that I've loved most, and over the last few years, with my own personal experiences and lack of ability to apply myself so much within training in the way that I have wanted to, I've put all of that energy into my clients. I've put all that energy into being the absolute best coach that I could possibly be, producing the best results possible, and providing the best value of service that I possibly can with my online coaching. Now, with this process and just kind of being in the position I'm in now, and having experienced what I have over the last few months, and having kind of gained this love back for my own personal journey, and almost like the confidence in my own physique as well, and my ability to actually take my physique further than I ever thought possible, I have decided that I'm going to be competing. I'm going to be doing a men's physique competition either at the back end of next year, or if I feel like I'm not in a position where I can place and come home with a first place medal, I will then be continuing the off season and pushing on until 2024. I'm in no rush to do it. There is a certain level of urgency, but there's no rush. I have a nice feeling of patience and desire to bring the absolute best package that I possibly could. So if we're not ready next year, we're not ready, we continue to push on. But I'm going to be doing that first show as a natural. I want to then assess how I do, how I feel, and then make the decision as to whether I then push on in terms of my bodybuilding career and go to that assisted side, or whether I want to stay within the natural realms and kind of dominate in that sector. But I'm buzzing. I'm so excited, and I think like the clarity that it's given me, the kind of fire in my belly to go through this off season now and just develop my physique in the way that I need to is burning more than ever. And I think I've got the best starting point that I possibly could because of the prep that I've just been through. I've got the best support around me possible in the form of you guys and everyone within my personal circle, and I've got the vision that I want to fulfill now. And I think that's something that I have missed within my own physique journey for sure, like in terms of the direction I'm taking it. But with that very specific goal, and with that big goal, like it scares me a little bit because it's a big thing. And again, like I've said before, I don't just want to do this, I want to do it properly. I don't just want to compete for the sake of competing. And I think, like, unfortunately within our industry there is some weird level of pressure or feeling of necessity to compete, more so from a recognition standpoint, an external recognition standpoint. And I'm very conscious of my reasonings behind wanting to do this, and without sounding rude or obnoxious, like, I'm not doing this for you guys, I'm not doing it for any external recognition apart from for pure intrinsic desire to take my physique and my own personal progression as far as possible. And what I get out of that will far exceed anything else that comes alongside that journey naturally. And obviously any additional benefits that come from me going through this process isn't kind of a negative, right? There are definite kind of positives to the carryover to my ability to then coach competitive athletes in the future with my own coaching, my ability to kind of understand and empathize with people that go through a competition prep, because ultimately if you haven't done that, you can't then really truly understand what someone goes through. The developmental kind of side of my own kind of personal growth mentally and physically as well. But yeah, the biggest thing is I've just got this drive to see where I can take this. It starts now. It starts by pushing into this off season and gaining the tissue that we need to. Ultimately, I just need more size everywhere. I went down to 67 kilos, fully depleted. I think I was like 69 on the shoot day. I'm not the biggest of guys. I need a lot more size in order to be as competitive as I want to be. So the ultimate goal is just to gain size everywhere. Obviously with men's physique specifically, we will be designing the protocols that we use in terms of training specifically geared towards that, regarding the look that I need to bring to stage. And ultimately with men's physique, it's a case of bringing that top line, bringing that width across the delt, the kind of chest fullness in general, upper chest and width to the back. It will be a case of making sure that by the time I go into that first prep, I'm happy with the position that all of those muscle groups are in, and I can kind of confidently say that I'm going into that first competition in a position that I have a fighting chance of winning, if that makes sense. In terms of like the specifics now moving forward regarding like the rate of progress, body weight wise, and just in terms of visually, I expect to be able to see a decent rate of gain moving into this initial couple of months worth of the off season, down to the fact that this is going to be the first time in a good few years whereby I've been through a structured off season itself. Leading into the shoot prep, I didn't have a prolonged period of time whereby I had structure in terms of my training fully, or even my nutrition from an energy intake standpoint. So having Cal on board to coach me throughout this, and obviously having his guidance, his support, the support of all the other boys, but also just the structure that coaching is going to give me through him, and the accountability and the kind of clarity in terms of the direction that I need to take myself within each phase. I'm hoping to just make the absolute most of the next couple of years of growing and bring a physique that's completely different to the one that I brought to the shoot itself. Ultimately, I was really happy with how I looked at the shoot. I was, in a weird way, almost surprised at how I looked, because I didn't think that I would look like I had as much muscle as I think I did within those shoot photos, down to the fact that I was just so light. And obviously it's a hard process to go through when you're prepping and when you're so flat, because you feel like you got no muscle anyway. So the difference that it made, like when we filled up, when we dried out, and when I had a tan, a bit of oil, good lighting, like it allowed me to gain that confidence in my physique that I needed in order to commit to the goal that I've just laid out here. And again, without kind of sounding kind of cocky, just that confidence that I've got in my ability to bring a good men's physique, that natural kind of shape that I've got. I'm hoping that it fits that class very well. So yeah, that is the goal. That is what we're going to be doing. That's what we're going to be documenting within the next series, which will be released very soon. By the time this video is released, I believe it will be 1 week, maximum 2 weeks prior to the next series starting. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. I'm yet to come up with a name, so if you have any suggestions, comment below. What I'll do is give a little prize out or a giveaway to the person that comes up with the best name, and potentially the name that I use for the next series. So yeah, comment below. Come up with a couple of good names for me, because I'm struggling at the moment. I wanna nail the name of the series. But regardless of the name, it's going to be an awesome journey itself, and I hope you guys can follow along with the whole thing. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. I appreciate your support, and I know that with your guys' support, I can do this. I can like achieve the goals that I have in mind and more. So thank you as always for your ongoing support. Thank you for supporting the channel and watching. As always, do that YouTuber stuff, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Sick, mate.